Stergios Anastasiadis, general partner at Genesis Ventures. So my entire career has been 100% focused in North America on startup activity, computer science, math graduate, so I'm a programmer, and a lot of the work done there was building up quite a few companies and some successful exits. The time came just to see what's going on in Greece. I had an opportunity to spend time with tech founders here in Greece, and in the early 2021 time frame, did some initial kind of helping, mentoring of folks in the industry, and I saw that there was an opportunity. Lots of really smart tech and product people, so made the decision to come over and try to not necessarily give back, but help the ecosystem kind of move up and to the right. So that's one of the major reasons that made kind of my drop off into Greece, and so far so good. So we've been around for 2 years. It's a 20 million euro fund from the European Investment Fund, our major LP. We've also raised 5 million approximately from 45, we call them angels, now LPs. So the total fund is 25 million. We do pre-seed, seed tickets up to 400K for initial. We do follow-ons as well. And we're sector agnostic, so it really doesn't matter, the industry. And we're also geo-agnostic. We've invested outside of Greece as well, predominantly Greek founders. And we need to close our portfolio raising money for 70 teams. And to date, we've made 35 investments. The characteristics of a smart tech and smart product are key. Second, that there's a significant amount of opportunity where some initial tickets are required to kind of get things off the ground. And so for a pre-seed type of fund, this is the ideal place to help kind of formulate that foundation and be there when it really grows and drives kind of that curve of next round and heading into kind of hundreds of millions of valuation territory. We're not aiming for unicorns, but solid businesses that after 6, 7, 8 years can maybe hit 30 to 50 million in ARR. So we really think we can help move the teams in that direction with trying to convince them to actually to start developing their business outside of Greece, because you'll never hit those numbers just locally. So for us, we had to create a new class, because the fundamentals of going early and building those out in valuations like less than 3 million never existed here in any meaningful way. And so we created the day one program, and we've run 5 cohorts already. If the 5th one goes well, which just finished, we'll have done 8 investments in the 1.5 million valuation range, which is unheard of having so low, because we really believe in the teams and the founders as a start. And so that really has built up like a really good structure of founders. We interviewed like over 500 teams, and we only invested in like roughly 2.5% of them. But if you look at it now, we can always go back and do more things with the rest of the folks and help build the ecosystem. The other part of the life cycle that needed attention was those folks that have been at it for like a year or two and have found slowly some product market fit, and when that happens, we really want to double down on those teams and basically tell them now start looking outside of Greece and growing your business. And then the third, I would say kind of like active and intentionally done, is look for Greek founders abroad. So we've done that in North America. We've made 6 investments there, 5 in the US, 1 in Canada, and we've made over 12 investments outside of Greece, UK, Sweden, Finland, where we can bring some of that know-how back into the ecosystem so that, the life cycle kind of, works itself out. We have, I think, successfully been able to bring all these founders together a few times a year and, even online, helping each other out, finding mentors and the like. So it's still work in progress, but we're seeing, that early accelerator, that product market fit drive outside of Greece, and then bringing some knowledge from outside back in, making some headway. Yeah, we do. We do have to. We can't rely 100% only to make the returns. Our investment thesis is that 30% needs to come from day one, 30% roughly from teams right from Greece, and the other 30% abroad. And our focus has been not big geos, but specific cities. So Zurich, London, Boston, Toronto have been kind of our focus areas for the remainder. Yeah, we've seen it in like 18 portfolio companies. All of them have created a physical legal entity here, and as they're growing, kind of they're into next rounds, actually hiring people, and we see quite a few teams, put engineers on the ground here that help them build their business abroad. So I think it's working out well, and the founders, I think, get it. If it didn't work out, they wouldn't do it. And so it's actually, paying off for them in many ways too. The beginning is always really important. So, having a legal tech framework that allows, startups to create safes and convertibles are really important. Going straight into equity deals with the infrastructure in place is very onerous. I also feel that having like a real stock option plan structure makes it a lot easier to bring talent back into the company and in Greece for sure. The other thing that will generate a lot is being able to look at how the universities are actually operating and generating as many more startups as possible out of that. So far, we've only invested in 1 team out of a school, and we've tried quite a bit across a few universities in Greece to actually, make that happen unsuccessfully. So that culture needs to change, including also getting the students from day one thinking about practicing their trade and becoming better by, working in internships if they're not available in Greece. Maybe, proceed and look at things that are abroad. And so getting the students to start thinking that way will bring them a little closer to the entrepreneurial culture that we want. I still think there's a lot of work to be done there. I really feel that it starts from the families, it starts from, high school, bringing in the right people where they can, see and be influenced by. Yes, you need to have unicorns, but it's not going to be that easy to take 1 or 2 people that have been successful and make them icons. You got to really open it up. And so it has to happen in the schools, it has to happen in the universities. And so all of that must change in order to go in that direction. I have to say 100% of first-year university students in Greece seem not to have a LinkedIn profile, whereas if you go abroad, they actually have a job ready to go from, the first summer there's available opportunity to work. And so that pivot must happen to make this type of change. We have landed the portfolio in kind of like, 4 areas. One is health, life sciences, has gone really well. The other one, surprisingly, has been, agro tech, which is cool, kind of fits into the culture. The other ones that are close by, similar type of, numbers, is fintech, education, and sports. Funny enough, there's no tourism in there, but those others have really like stepped up. I think there's been like a very positive founder growth outside of Greece in the space of like health and medicine and pharmaceutical. It's a staple in Boston, for example, North America, and so that's really driven a lot of our funnel. So we're really happy about that. There's 5 teams in our portfolio that are like really going for like major next rounds. Viania, Zenus, Next Level, including even a team that started in day one. My team is actually, doing really well. When I mean next major round, I mean tens of millions of valuation here. And then there's about another 8 of them that are getting into kind of that close to that second to, the 7-digit valuation numbers of 10 million. So they're somewhere in the 8 to 10. So they're showing good growth from when they started early on. So we're very positive in terms of kind of the outlook for sure on these teams, and the ones that are up and coming. The 2 things that we feel is much needed here is go-to-market plans when it comes to, going abroad and giving that push to the founders to start looking at opportunities outside of Greece, which is the right locale to pick, when to go, how to go about, making that happen, building a plan around it, including commercialization elements, are really critical. And the other thing that we feel, based on kind of burn rate / drive to meet, goals, is like setting those targets, talking about them every month. They drive them, and they need to be able to, provide context. And so execution is really key. With that focus, to be able to land month over month where you need to be, so you can make your customers happy and onboard as much as possible, because that in turn makes the entire team happy. It creates the right culture and momentum. And then in the secondary reason, of course, makes it easier to find, your next investment. So I think commercialization and driving outside of Greece and execution with focus on targets are key things that build the right stuff. Well, I don't know. I 10 years is too far away. I can tell you maybe like in 2 or 3 years, having invested in 70 teams, we're hoping, max 10 teams get into that like 200 to 300 million valuation range, which if you look at the numbers, means that 7 to 10 teams could be as big as 20, 25 people each. So you're looking at having a total of like 500 or so individuals, part of a total valuation of like 3 billion, which is something that we're always keeping an eye on, because that creates the right signals for success. And we hope that in a few years to be able to take those individuals that have had already some success and have them create their own startup, so that they can get the system going again. So that would be like my 2 to 5 year outlook. 10 teams, total valuation of like around 3 billion, very healthy, 500 peeps doing their thing in Greece, and hoping some of the ones that are in the pipeline doing well, a few of those actually get that entrepreneurial itch and get back into the startup game.